Hey y'all, good morning, good morning. Happy Thursday. Sorry, my phone was having trouble connecting for some reason this morning, so I apologize that I'm a little bit late here. But happy Thursday, how y'all doing? My name is Pinique Singleton from connectwithpinique.com. Welcome to today's episode of If You Woke Up, You're Winning. Thank you all so much for joining me this morning. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I know yesterday we went a little longer than usual, so I'm going to try to make this a little bit shorter today, all right? All right, so look, check it out. This week, we've been talking about just really getting out there and going after your goals, right? On Monday, I started out with a story about a young lady I spoke with over the weekend who had been kind of putting some things off, right? She had been wanting to write a book. She had been wanting to do some other things, and she'd been working on these things for years, right? And so Monday, I encouraged everyone to go after your dreams and your goals because you really don't have time, right? Some of you guys think you have a lot of time, but in all honesty, your time here on the earth is limited, right? So you don't want to waste it. If there's something you want to do, you got to get out there and do it, okay? So this week, we've been talking about how you can really take steps to do those things. We talked about waking up earlier to get your mind right before you start your day. We talked about reflecting at the end of your day. We talked about having a routine, having a schedule so that you can be more productive throughout your day. And we talked about making sure that in that schedule, you schedule self-development and time to learn, right? Because you should never stop learning and developing yourself. So if you missed any of the other episodes earlier this week, I encourage you to go back and check them out here on my Facebook page, or you can go to my YouTube page. I upload them on there every evening. So today, I want to go back to that routine, to the schedule for a minute. We just talked about that yesterday, but I just want to get back to that because I want to clarify some things, right? So I want to make sure that you guys are scheduling everything. Some people, they just write down whatever it is that their goal is, right? So they might schedule time to work on their business, or if you're writing a book, you might schedule time to do that. If you're going back to school, you might schedule time for your homework or to study. But you really want to write everything on the schedule. And the reason you want to do that is because it gives you a more realistic picture of how much time you actually have. So, like, for example, if you have a schedule like this, which I don't know if you guys can really see that. If you have a schedule like this that lists all the time slots during the day, and you only write down like here and there where you're working on this one thing, it gives you a false sense of, I have more time because I've got all these blank spots on my schedule. But you didn't write down that you have to pick the kids up from school, or you didn't write down that you got to do grocery shopping. And I know you're like, well, I'm not going to forget those things. But it's not about writing it so you don't forget. It's about writing it so that you have a realistic picture of what your day looks like. Because like I said, when you don't write everything, you got all these blank spaces and it looks like, oh, I'm free at this time, when you're really not, right? So you want everything to be realistic, right? So you have more of a sense of urgency. Because when I only have this particular amount of free time, you got to make the most of the time that you do have, right? You got to manage it well. That's just like sometimes when you live closer to your job, you always late. Has that ever happened to y'all? Because it's so close. And so that gives you a false sense of like, oh, I got plenty of time. And you always late. Because you're like, oh, it's 5 minutes down the road, so I don't have to leave as early, right? But that's just like, but when you live further, you're like, oh, snap, I need to leave like an hour early. There may be traffic. And you're thinking of all these things. And you're usually there way earlier or on time. That's just kind of weird. Have y'all ever thought about that? So it's the same thing with the schedule. You think, oh, I got all this extra time. I can kind of lollygag. I can take my time. And then the time gets away from you and you've either forgotten to do something or you've run out of time and, it's time to go to bed or whatever. So write everything down on the schedule. And the last thing I want to say about scheduling, this is super important, guys. I want you to get this. Make sure you schedule time for fun. Make sure you schedule time for your family. Make sure you schedule time for a break. All right. Now, I know a lot of you are really focused on your goals, and I know you want to make this business work, and I know you want to write that book. But if you work, you are going to get stressed out. You know what I mean? You need time to relax. You need time to take a break. But you need to schedule that time, though, okay? So don't just schedule the work time. Schedule time to unwind, okay? So that's very important, especially if you have a family, if you have a spouse. Make sure you're scheduling date night. If you have children, make sure you're scheduling time, mommy, daughter time, daddy, daughter time, mother, son, whatever it is, whatever that looks like. Make sure you guys are scheduling that time as well when you're looking at your daily routine, because a lot of you're working on these goals for your family. You're working on it to make a better life for your family. So you don't want to lose them in the process. because you're working all the time. Yes, there will be sacrifices that have to be made. Maybe you'll miss a couple of things, but for the most part, you still want to stay connected and you don't want to lose them in this process. So it's very important that when you're planning out your routine, you schedule time for fun things. You schedule time for your family, vacations, things of that nature. All right? Y'all got me? All right. So that's all I have about routine and scheduling. So the next tip that I want to share with you today, as far as, working towards your goals and things that you should be doing, get connected to the right people. Now, I know a lot of us, we're conditioned to think, oh, I can't tell anybody what I'm doing. They're going to steal my idea, or they're going to be negative. They're going to try to talk me out of it. Well, those are not the people you need to be surrounding yourself with. However, you do need to be getting connected with other people of greatness, other people of excellence, because I know you guys, right? I know how awesome y'all are. And I mean, if you think about it, if you partner with another person that also has that greatness inside of them, that also has the same goals, imagine what you guys can do. Like, I know you guys have heard people say teamwork makes the dream work, and it's true, but you got to get with the right people. Don't go to that person that's always negative. Don't go to that person that's not doing anything with their life, but you want to get with other like-minded people, because you will be amazed at what you can do, right? I know I've partnered with so many awesome people because you can do so much more, right? There's this quote by Helen Keller that says, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. And that is so true, because you only have 24 hours in your day. But if it's you and somebody else, now that's 48 hours that y'all can be getting something done, right? And if it's more people, it's more hours, okay? There's this other quote by J.P. Getty, and I love this one. I'd rather have 1% of the efforts of 100 people than 100% of my own efforts. And that's just talking about, partnering up with other people instead of you trying to do everything yourself. And I'm not necessarily talking about, getting with 100 people, but I'm talking about that one person or those two people that you just really can work with, right? And it's always good to partner with somebody sometimes that has a strength in an area that you may not be as strong in. Like I have this business partner. She'll be like, all right, let's go to this conference, right? We're going to go out of town. So we have all these plans to go to this conference and learn all this stuff. We don't have no hotel. We don't have a flight. We don't know how we getting there, but we're going to this conference, right? But then me, I'm the planner. So she'll have the idea to go, and I'm the one that's already, I'm looking for flights. I'm looking for hotels, and we work so well together. You see what I'm saying? So join forces with somebody that you can work with, and also because they're going to hold you accountable. Like the lady I talked about earlier in the week that said she was writing a book. She doesn't know this, but now I'm her accountability partner. And I will be reaching out to her and saying, how's that book going? And I'll be encouraging her. And so when you partner with other people, not only can you do more, but you keep each other motivated. All right. So that is my second tip of the day. I guess the scheduling we started talking about yesterday, but partner with the right people. You can do so much more. All right. So reach out to somebody. If there's somebody on Facebook and you like how they move, just send them a message. Say, hey, I think we would be great working together. What's up? They say no, then that wasn't the person you're supposed to work with. Move on. I've done this before. Okay. So look, y'all, I know it's almost approaching 10 minutes, so I'm going to get out of here. But I hope you guys found value this morning. If you did, please make sure you like, comment, and share. If you have questions for me, please feel free to reach out to me. If you have comments, I welcome the comments in the inbox or underneath the post, whatever you want to do. I just appreciate you guys hanging out with me this morning. Chan, good morning. India. Let's see who else. Leroy. Miss Sullivan. I appreciate all of you guys watching and just hanging out with me in the morning. So I want you guys to get off of Facebook now. Don't stay on here for another 30 minutes. Get off of Facebook and get out there and be great on purpose today. I know you can do it. I believe in you. You got this. Have a happy Thursday. I'll see y'all in the morning.